Broadcasting live from the Business Radio X studios in Woodstock, Georgia, it's time for Cherokee Business Radio. Now, here's your host.
Welcome back to Cherokee Business Radio. I'm your host, Joshua Kornitsky, and we are so happy to have everybody here today to give us a listen. Before we get started, I wanted to mention that today's episode is brought to you in part by the Community Partner Program, the Business Radio X Main Street Warriors, defending capitalism, promoting small business, and supporting our local community. For more information, go to mainstreetwarriors.org. And a special note of thanks to our title sponsor for the Cherokee chapter of the Main Street Warriors, Diesel David Inc. Please go check them out at dieseldavid.com. My guest today is someone that I have had the pleasure of knowing for a little while now, and she's really doing some incredible work. My guest today is Jacqueline Jensen. Jacqueline is a business leader, a professional EOS implementer, and a passionate supporter of entrepreneurs. She joins us today to talk about an initiative that she's helping bring to life in the Atlanta area, one that's all about creating meaningful support for business owners who really often feel like they're going it alone. Welcome, Jackie. It's so nice to have you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Joshua. Thanks for having me.
Tell me, what led you to launch this program, and what is this program about?
Yeah, so I became aware of an organization or nonprofit called ENRG. So it is spelled ENRG. I
Okay.
came about that organization maybe about 6 months ago, and I just loved everything they were about. So ENRG, ENRG, stands for Entrepreneurial Network Resource Group.
Okay.
And another little acronym for it is so it is aligned with EOS, which is the Entrepreneurial Operating System, and EOS and Energy aligned, as well as brought in the Entrepreneurial Leap. So eLeap Academy is also brought into it. So the other acronym that ENRG stands for is companies that are exploring EOS, new to EOS, running on EOS, and growing on EOS. So
So,
it is, Mhm.
no, I just wanted to pause and maybe I jumped the gun. Help us understand what all of these do.
Yeah. So EOS is a business operating system that helps entrepreneurs and their leadership teams organize all the moving parts of their business.
Okay.
And so it takes entrepreneurs tend to have about 136 issues at best running around in their head at any
Sure.
given time. So it helps streamline and simplify those issues into 6 buckets. Entrepreneurial Leap is on the front side of the entrepreneurial journey. So it helps people and individuals determine whether they are a right fit for an entrepreneurial type career.
Okay.
And for those who may have taken the leap to become an entrepreneur, and maybe in the early stages of that. So when we talk about early stage entrepreneurs, it's individuals with typically less than 10 employees.
Okay. So it sounds like eLeap is sort of the beginning. EOS is sort of more mature for an entrepreneur whose organization's already kind of up and running. So is that where the energy program or energy platform fits in?
Yeah, exactly. So Energy helps support both early stage entrepreneurs and those entrepreneurs or integrators. So kind of second in charge for an entrepreneurial company. Find a place where they can connect. So what Energy likes to say, and part of their core focus is the community for the entrepreneurial path to mastery. So how
Okay.
can Energy create this community? You mentioned in kind of the intro that entrepreneurs tend to feel a little lonely, or maybe they don't have a place to go celebrate their successes, or they don't have a place where they can feel vulnerable enough to express their challenges or fears. And so Energy is about creating this space, this community for those entrepreneurs to continue gaining the tools they need as they work towards mastery in their business.
So now you have been an entrepreneur in your life, correct?
I have been a family business leader.
And
So,
and But within an entrepreneurial organization, and the reason that I asked that is I want to talk a little bit about this going it alone, this entrepreneurial loneliness, right?
Yes.
From your experience, what does that look like, or what did that feel like, and what are you looking to solve?
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, it felt like in my early 20s, I began working in my family's business and was regularly placed into leadership positions that I just didn't feel qualified for, experienced enough for. I certainly didn't have the knowledge to execute those seats well, but the pressure of leading well was certainly there. And so oftentimes I didn't feel like I had a place to turn. So for me, I turned a lot to books and podcasts and anywhere where I could gather information and knowledge and wisdom from those who had experienced something similar before me. But that takes a lot of time, and it's still not a real connection. So energy gives a place where these business owners that feel stuck in a certain part of their business can come together, learn new tools and skills to put into, what I visualize as kind of being a tool belt around our
Right,
waist.
right.
Um, and then also in real life, connect with other entrepreneurs who have maybe gone through that same challenge in their business and can share from experience. So that's one thing in energy. In our meetings, we spend about 60 minutes discussing real challenges in business owners' lives, and we share from experience. We don't share from ideas or thoughts or hearsay. Uh,
Theoretical.
exactly.
So you said something I want to just ask about. You said in person. Now, what is this in person you speak of? So seriously, you get people together in physical group.
We do. We get people together physically once a month. So the Atlanta chapter meets on the third Friday of each month at
Okay.
8 a.m. at Serendipity Labs in Alpharetta near the North Point Mall.
And we'll
And
have a link to that and the address when we publish. So don't worry about looking that up while we're talking.
perfect. Thank you. So we come together for 90 minutes. It's 8 to 9:30 on Friday morning. And for the first bit, we check in with each other, and that just helps us learn about the other entrepreneurs in the room. And then for about 20 minutes, we share a tool that the group seems to be struggling with. So the first meeting we launched last month in September, and we talked about an issue solving track. So when you're in your business with your employees, your team, oftentimes entrepreneurs are really good at bringing their team together and just discussing the heck out of an issue, but never really
Forever
moving
and ever.
towards solve. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. We've all been in those meetings where
Yes.
you spent entirely too long just discussing something, and then you leave and you're like, what did we actually solve, or what's the next step?
Sure.
So in this first energy meeting, we talked about the issue solving track, which is a tool within the entrepreneurial operating system toolbox. And then we went and we practiced that tool for the remainder of the meeting. So it's about a 5 to 10 minute check in, 20 minutes on a tool, and then 60 minutes solving real challenges, obstacles, opportunities that the entrepreneurs in the room are having in their business.
So they bring their own issues to discuss.
They
Wow.
do.
So you've got a group of entrepreneurs that are in a room physically once a month. You're teaching them something they don't know from an established methodology, and then you're going through and helping them understand and resolve their issues. This must cost a fortune.
Oh, that's a wonderful question. So no, this is a nonprofit. Energy is a nonprofit supported by wonderful sponsors around the country who support entrepreneurs in their businesses. But there is no cost to Energy.
So
We just
this is free.
This is free.
And it's a national nonprofit, so that there's no sale coming down the pike where someone's going to be, oh, hey, first taste was free, but if you want to get all in, really.
No.
So how's the reception been in the community? I know you've only just launched here, but how are local businesses are they finding value?
Yeah. Oh, that's such a great question. I'm glad you asked this, Joshua. Um, So yes, we launched September 19th, so a couple weeks ago in Atlanta. We had 15 business owners or leadership team members in the room, everything from solopreneurs up to seven-figure business owners.
Wow.
And they brought some fantastic challenges and imperfections and obstacles in their business. And I was so impressed with their vulnerability. And then how energized the group was to help each other with where these entrepreneurs were feeling stuck. And what was really neat to hear is a couple days after this energy meeting, a few of the folks in the room connected one-on-one.
That's awesome.
So we had one business owner who expressed some challenge with kind of niching down, what we would call in EOS kind of determining target market.
Okay.
And there was another individual in the group who owns a marketing agency. And so the two of them connected, had a one-on-one. The marketing agency business owner gave basically a free workshop to the other entrepreneur in the room. And like, that's the beauty of bringing entrepreneurs together, especially those that share the core values of energy, which one of those is givers. So we're help first and also abundance minded. So just had, collaboration over competition.
So if I can ask sort of a hard question, Jacqueline, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
You personally?
Yeah, personally. So my background comes from, working in family business, which I shared, and that family business was in hospitality.
Okay.
So I feel like I've had this servant heart, and I love community. And so doing what I do as an EOS implementer, a lot of what I do is a solopreneurship to a degree. I'm working out of my home. I'm growing my practice here, but I don't always have the opportunity to connect with others. So I love that idea of bringing community together, bringing entrepreneurs together. And then also just my history of kind of walking in their shoes, right? And I'm currently walking in their shoes
Right.
of what it feels like to be an entrepreneur who can feel stuck and as if you don't have the tools in your tool belt. And I just think that there is so much value and so much power in creating a space where entrepreneurs can come together and make connections like the one that happened in September and help each other get unstuck and move forward, right? Like entrepreneurship is the foundation of our country.
It really is.
And it gives back, it creates space for an opportunity for those we employ, and it helps us take care of our family.
So let me ask you, in the one session a month that you're hosting, and again, we'll share the location in Alpharetta when we post the podcast. Are you doing this all by yourself? How many other folks are involved with you?
Yeah. And if you don't mind, Joshua, I'll take a second to just provide a little history of
Please.
where Energy started. So Energy started about 4 years ago in
Oh,
Southern Alabama,
okay.
and it was for integrators. So again, kind of the folks that are typically below the founder, and they're the ones that are the glue to the organization, right? They beat the drum, they keep everything held together, they keep everyone on track
Okay.
with the vision. And so for integrators in Southern Alabama were running their businesses on EOS, and they would attend the annual EOS conference. And you go to a conference and you learn new skills and you connect with others and you're aligned and you're refocused and you're re-energized. And then you go back home, so back into their community, and that energy kind of wanes. The focus goes, tends to go astray a little bit. And so they built this group, this energy group, to hold themselves accountable. They said each month we want to get together, we want to recreate the energy from the EOS conference.
Wow.
And hold each other accountable. So for a few years, they did on a monthly basis. They met.
Just doing it
And
themselves.
just doing it, the four of them, and adding other business owners and leaders along the way. But it was just that Southern Alabama group for a couple of years, and then word started to spread, and a couple other chapters opened up. And I believe at the beginning of this year, there were only 4 chapters in the United States. In September, there were 40, and they just announced that they are now working to launch 53
Wow.
chapters. So this is growing tremendously around the U.S. And even in Canada. I spoke to an implementer in Canada who is interested in launching a chapter in their area this week. And so really cool to see the growth. And to go back to your question, Joshua, I don't do this alone by any means. We have great support from ENRG National. And I have partnered with an integrator here in the Atlanta area. So Ashley May, who's with Logic Speak. They
Okay.
have run on EOS for about 5 years. So she's familiar with the tools and
Oh,
and
so that's great because now you've got someone who's also putting it in, who's using it in daily life and can give context to the folks around the tools that you're sharing.
yes, and that's the value of what I shared earlier and what you accentuated was we're not sharing from theory, we're sharing from experience. So having Ashley in the room to run the meeting, to keep us on track, and to make sure that we don't go down rabbit holes or have tangents. She keeps us very focused. We work through the issues, we identify the root cause, we discuss it briefly, and we walk away with a solved and next steps for that issue. And so, yes, I'm doing this with Ashley and the entrepreneurs that come. So we are so fortunate to have such a wonderful group in September.
That's great. And again, you're just shining more light onto the process and this process of being able to provide real world experience over politely what somebody just thinks ought to be the answer. So to understand moving forward, when you get together next, will you still be will you introduce a new tool every month?
Yes, we'll introduce a new tool each month, and the entrepreneurs in the room get to pick where
Okay.
they're having trouble. So we have a solid issues list started, and we can't wait to add more issues each month. And from those issues, it generally starts to, um, focus us on maybe what the entrepreneurs in the room, what tool might benefit them the most. And so the October EOS tool that we'll be teaching is going to be the Vision Traction Organizer. So this is a 2-page document that provides a clear vision on where the company is going, and the group thought that that would be the best tool to focus on since most are starting to plan for 2026.
Well, so let's use this platform here to tell me a little bit about the Vision Traction Organizer so anybody that's listening can understand what you're offering for the next session, which is scheduled for.
October 17th.
Okay, perfect. So we got great timing on this. Tell us a little bit about that. So if somebody wants to come and learn, what are you going to share with them?
Yeah, so Vision Traction Organizer is another tool in the EOS toolbox, and this tool answers 8 simple questions and clearly defines the vision for the company and kind of crystallizes the focus for everyone within that company. So, would you like for me to run
I
through
was,
the
I
8
was going to
questions,
say in
Joshua?
only 8 questions. Yeah.
In
If
only
you know them, I'd love to hear them.
Yeah, so the 8 questions. So what are your core values? So core values define the culture within the organization. What's your core focus? What's your 10-year target? So that's your big goal. Your marketing strategy, so kind of diving into that target market, as I alluded to earlier. What's your 3-year picture? So how do you bring that 10-year target, that big, hairy, audacious goal down to the ground a little bit more and create a picture around it? And then we bring it down even more to the 1-year plan. So can we simplify what needs to be accomplished this year to 3 to 7 items in order to move towards the 3-year picture? Then we bring it down even more and start to define what are the most important items we need to do this quarter. So we call those quarterly rocks. And
Okay.
then last is the issues list. So what's any long-term issues, any issues you're not looking to discuss in the next 90 days, we place that on the issues list to make sure that we don't forget about it.
It sounds like it's a fantastic, both strategic and tactical approach to sort of quantifying your business. So I think that'd be hugely valuable for
Yeah,
anybody that wants to come and learn. And is there a minimum size for the organization to be part of Energy?
no. Like I mentioned, our September meeting, we had everything from solopreneurs up to 7-figure business owners.
Wow, this is really an incredible opportunity for a business to gain momentum and to be able to learn from existing experienced organizations and teachers and coaches and integrators what works.
Yes. No, we welcome more. I think one question I get a fair amount in and our first meeting was, well, how many folks are you going to have in these energy meetings, right? So
Right.
at a certain point, maybe it's too many. And so a chapter caps out between 20 and 24 members. So once we achieve that, then hopefully energy, someone else in the community wants to take on another chapter, and energy will cheer them on and facilitate another chapter in Atlanta launching.
That's fantastic. I know you said that you've only had one meeting so far and getting ready for the next one in October. Um, do you still have room for others to join?
We do. We do. So
Wonderful.
we had about 15 in the September
Oh, so
meetings.
definitely
So,
room.
yep. So we'll hopefully get it to that 20 to 24 number for 17, and then, or I'm sorry, for October 17th, and then be able to move forward and keep our community together. That's a big piece too. Really building that community and a group of individuals who enjoy coming together on a monthly basis.
So, last question before I ask you how people will learn more. What are you hoping this does for your community? What do you want the impact of this to be?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. Um, I I think it aligns with the energy core values, right? I want a group of entrepreneurs to feel comfortable and safe coming into a room, connecting with each other. And so the core values for energy are, we're givers, so help first. So having entrepreneurs that come into this
I
room
love
who
that.
want to support other entrepreneurs. Um, Growth. So we don't welcome egos, right? And then this idea of when you teach something, so when you're sharing from experience, you're actually learning as well. And so this idea of being growth minded, building community. So if we're growing our business, we're growing our communities. So that's again another place that energy comes back into place. And then abundance minded, and I mentioned this earlier, collaboration over competition. So I am just hoping that energy creates this space for entrepreneurs to come together, feel supported, be able to share their wins and share their fears. And feel supported from the group, and take that back out in the community and give back to the community and let that continue evolving out.
Jacqueline, I think you're doing a really, really good thing for the community that we both share, right? I mean, all of us, everyone listening to this is part of this community, and I think what you're doing is going to make a real tangible difference because it's not trying to sell anything; it's just trying to educate and elevate, and I think that's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that with us. So how can people learn more, understand, when the event is, all of that type of stuff? What's the best way to learn more?
Yeah, so the best place to learn more is to go to the Energy website, which is enrg.life, Life. And
Okay.
just going there will share more about Energy National and what energy is all about. And then there's a little tab up on the top called Attend a Chapter. Click on that, scroll to the bottom, fill out a form, very short form, and I'll be notified that you're inter- interested in coming to the October event, and I'll be in touch with you from there. Otherwise, you can reach out to me directly at jacqueline.jensen@eosworldwide.com, or on LinkedIn, Jacqueline Jensen, Jensen.
Wonderful. And again, we'll share those links so that if people didn't manage to write that down ahead of time, not a problem. We'll have all of that available. Jacqueline, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here. Thank you for sharing the hard work you're putting in to help others. I love that help first mentality. It really resonates with me. Uh, Thank you. I appreciate it. So, my guest today has been Jacqueline Jensen. She's a business leader, a professional EOS implementer, and a really, really passionate supporter of entrepreneurs, as she shared with us. All of Jacqueline's information and information about ENRG will be available via our website when we go live with this, which will just be in a few short days. And then last, again, I want to make sure that I tell everybody that today's episode is brought to you in part by the Community Partner Program, the Business Radio X Main Street Warriors, defending capitalism, promoting small business, and supporting our local community. For more information, go to mainstreetwarriors.org. And a special note of thanks to our title sponsor for the Cherokee chapter of Main Street Warriors, Diesel David Inc. Go check them out at dieseldavid.com. I'm your host, Joshua Kornitsky. Thank you for joining us here on Cherokee Business Radio. We'll see you again next time.